Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I am reviewing The High Republic issue 14, Jedi's End, Chapter 4, The Edge of Destruction, which was written by Cavan with art by Ario Inedito, and it came out on February 2nd, 2022. So yeah, which I thought was another solid issue. Shows some of the events from The Fallen Star, but kind of from the point of view of Avar Kriss, and Keeve, and some of the other characters of the series. I will say there wasn't anything like super duper crazy in this issue. We already know what happens to Starlight Beacon, so we didn't really obviously learn anything there. We do learn what these characters were up to during the destruction. We don't see them actually kind of bored till near the end of the issue, but there's still some interesting stuff there. But the issue starts with the Jedi still at the Hall of the Nile and No Space, fighting the Nile. We see Skier and the Latiro Jedi, Gino'le Monchi, save some Nile from, death, because they're going to get sucked down into space, which the one kind of asks them why they saved them, which Gino'le says that the Jedi serve the light and never death, which it cuts to Avar about to strike down Lorna, but Keeve kind of gets in the way and knocks some sense into Avar, which, Avar agrees and kind of stands down and, says that she lost control. But Lorna then kind of gets up and grabs Tarek's lightsaber again and puts it around Keeve's neck and, kind of threatens her. Lorna then says that, the Jedi haven't won. And she goes on about how mercy is the Jedi's biggest weakness, which Avar responds by force pushing her and saying that mercy is actually the Jedi's greatest strength. But the force push knocks Lorna unconscious. So Avar and Keeve kind of talk for a moment, which Keeve tells Avar that not everyone can be perfect and that no Jedi is infallible. But thinking you will lead to the dark side, which, obviously Avar finishes that last part, which Avar asks Keeve, when did she get so wise, which Keeve says that she was, just lucky, but she has had the best teachers in the galaxy, meaning Avar and Skier. Well, we then see the Jedi back aboard the Ataraxia, see Skier and Keeve in the detention center, making sure Lorna and the other Nile are kind of locked up and whatnot, which was a nice moment between them. First, Keeve kind of notices that Skier's bleeding, and, he says that'll heal in time, which Keeve then kind of asks if his condition will also heal in time, which Skier once again says that, there is no cure, and that, no matter what the Jedi Council decides for his future, this mission will be his last, which Keeve tries to change his mind, but, he says there's no escaping the truth, and he goes on that there's no better time for him to leave the Jedi Order, as he's seen Keeve become the Jedi Knight he always thought she would become, which Keeve says that no matter what the Council decides or what Skier decides, that, she'll be his legacy, which Skier says that, she shouldn't be that, and that she should, set her own path and create her own legacy, become, her own Jedi. And he says, that's the greatest reward any master could have, seeing their apprentice become their own Jedi or person, which I really love that moment between them two. And just really throughout the series, I've really loved, their relationship and, what they've been through in the series so far. Excited to see what happens in the final issue. But we then see the Ataraxi arrive at Starlight Beacon. We see Avar talking to Stellan. It's pretty much the same moment from The Fallen Star, but from Avar's point of view. It's just a great scene. Stellan basically tells Avar that, he's taken over as the Marshal of Starlight Beacon. But one thing I really liked was the art really showed the kind of state Stellan's in, worn out and just shitty looking, because of, those mysterious creatures that are affecting, him aboard Starlight Beacon, which, the art from Inedito was great there and, has been great this entire series. But in the middle of the conversation is when Starlight gets, kind of, I guess, attacked, blown up. I don't know. And the comms go out. So, the Ataraxia doesn't really know what's going on. So Avar asks them to kind of dock with the station, which, because the hangars are closed, they kind of just have to go into a little part of the station and cut a hole in it. And so they do that. And so Avar, Keeve, Skier, and some of the others board the station where, they obviously not in good state. And there's a bunch of, frightened civilians, which, Avar kind of controls them a bit and tells them that, Gino'le will lead them to the Ataraxia so that they can be safe there. Which we see Skier try to contact Astalamaru, but once again the comms aren't working. And they also then find out that the station is pretty much split into two because of the radiation in the middle of the station. So they try to come up with a plan, but Avar, Keeve, and the others start to get affected by those mysterious creatures, except Skier, who, is obviously kind of cut himself off of the Force. He doesn't, he isn't getting affected by it. So it's kind of confused by what's going on, but Keeve is still kind of able to talk to him, and she kind of tells him that, it's exactly what she felt on Axis, which, we get a little bit from Avar also. We see her point of view, actually, and she's kind of yelling at, I think, Skier to kind of get away from Keeve, which we see what she's seeing, and Skier looks very scary looking, but Keeve also kind of does also. So definitely interesting there to kind of get more point of view of what the, Jedi are actually seeing when they're getting affected by these creatures. But, once again, the art there was also great capturing that. But, like I said, I thought it was a solid issue. There really isn't any crazy new reveals. The ending of the battle at No Space kind of went as I thought it would be. Keeve knocked some sense in Avar, and they kind of captured Lorna and whatnot. I enjoyed the little moment of Avar and Keeve talking afterwards, and I also enjoyed the moment on the Ataraxia of Skier and Keeve talking about their futures and whatnot. Which, then the ending with the stuff on Starlight, there obviously wasn't a whole lot, but nice to finally see what's happening on the top half of the station, because in the Fallen Star we don't really see that. So yeah, and obviously interesting to get more about these creatures and whatnot, and just kind of learn what the Jedi are kind of actually, what it looks like, what they're seeing. So that was neat, but excited for the final issue, kind of see exactly what's happening with these characters on the top half of the station. So yeah, and even though I said there wasn't any crazy reveals or anything, doesn't mean the issue was bad. I still thought it was a great issue. So yeah, but my grade, I'm gonna give it an A-. So yeah. Anyways, that'll be it for this one. My next High Republic review will be issue 5 of the Trail of Shadows miniseries, so you can check that out then. But in the meantime, you can check out all my other High Republic reviews and everything else I do. I've been Source, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.